We're down to the final week of our Christmas cards for 2025, but don't worry, we're going to be back with something else in 2026. Hi, this is Kelly with Kelly's Creative Dream Studios, and I'm doing the last card in the Winter Gifts November 2019 Paper Pumpkin, and today we're going to work with the sled. Now, we've done everything totally different from what they wanted the tags done, or at least for the most part, but we've taken tags and turned them into cards. So, we are going to start with our sled. Now, I am only going to put together one card today because I am using, see if I can find the package here. I'm using this snowflake from Tim Holtz. This is snowflake number 1, and I gotta tell you, unless you shim this really good, this particular die is not cutting well. I started a couple of different times yesterday. See if I can find the one. This is the second one I tried, and none of these little centers wanted to punch out. So, we're cashing this one in. And that was after I shimmed it with one piece of cardstock. When I shimmed it with 2, I got a much better snowflake. And because of the extra effort to cut everything out and get everything punched out, I decided I'm only going to use a half a snowflake, which was a good idea because when you put this on the card and you put the sled on top, the snowflake pretty much disappears anyway. So I decided to cut it down the middle, and let's show you how this is going to go together, which means I only have to cut 2 more snowflakes, cut them in half, and I'll have enough for all 6 cards. So after playing around with base colors yesterday, I decided to use a white base, topped with a real red cardstock matte. And then this particular pattern is from a retired Christmas collection from Stampin' Up! Called Candyland, or Candy Lane. So I went with this. Has that little effect of snow, but it has a lot of color, and I decided I wanted to set it cattywampus on the card front. So let's go ahead and glue things in place and put this together. I still need to go through and put my bases in a lot of the cards, or the liners in a lot of the cards that we've done. This was supposed to have been recorded on Monday, but I had a broken sleep session Sunday night into Monday, and it really throws my game off. Now this one I'm going to square up on the base, okay? But this one, we're going to give it a little bit of a twist. And I am also going to do it, I don't know if this one's going to hold or not, we'll see. I want to do a little bit of vintage photo from Tim Holtz, if I can get my lid off. Wow, the lid's on there to stay. Okay, we're not going to fight with that one. Let's use vintage photo or walnut stain instead. It's a little darker than I wanted, but at least I can get to it. So we're going to use walnut stain, and I'm still going to use this dauber because I've got multiples over here and don't know where anything's at. I've switched to these because I'm going to redo all of my ink, my little ink spots, and make it possible to put the ink spot on the bottom. But I've figured out I'm going to have, now this one doesn't have a Velcro on it, so it may be a little bit tenacious this morning to do this. But we're going to go gentle and see if we can get a little bit of color on that edge, just like that. But then I can store the ink spots and the daubers all in one container, and I don't have to have an extra container over here just for the daubers, and it's going to create a little bit more room on my shelf over here. Not that I know what I'll use it for, but you know. Now this one I want to put a little cattywampus, but we have to be careful that we stay within the boundary of the base card. Okay, so we're going to do that, and I think that was supposed to go the other direction. It's okay, it'll work. Now this I'm going to put on dimensionals, but I'm also going to dust the edge of this. I really need the Velcro dot on the back of there. I really do. Now, theirs, they had these holes punched out, and they put on put the string on, but the string is not going to fit on this card. Now I'm going to bend this forward a little bit so I can get to the inside of that. Just like that. Okay. But this one I am going to put on dimensionals, and I put my dimensionals away because I want it to come up just a little bit. But excuse me. Get rid of my dot here. And this one stuck from the other one, so I'm going to put those there, and that will keep the... Actually, I'm going to pull that one off. I'm really fine with this morning. It's early. My broken sleep yesterday, Bob was going to let me sleep in this morning. And he was going to get up and take care of the animals. And, yeah, that didn't work out so well. At 6 o'clock, he was still snoring. So I decided I needed to get up and put the doggy out to potty. Give Tabby her food. She gets a lickable in the morning for breakfast. To tide her over till a bigger meal later in the day. Now, that's all I'm going to put there, but I am going to come back with the small dimensionals. Excuse me. It is still very early in the morning for me here to be trying to talk on a video, but I wanted to get this up and running, and since I couldn't record it yesterday, I needed to get it up and running so you get it at a decent time this morning. Now, keep in mind, you have these images that are pre-done from Stampin' Up, but you can always find dies or digitals that you can print out and do yourself at home without the stamped image and create something similar. Now this has a little bit of, needs a little bit of glue on the back, and I'm going to grab a glue dauber, and this is what I do with this. I'm going to put a little bit of glue up here in one of these wells. Probably I'll put it up here in the corner, actually. It's out of your sight, I know that. But then I can take the dauber, and I can come in here with the glue, and I can just daub this around. Now, I'm not too worried about getting down here in this part, because that part's going to be held down by the sleigh, so that's okay. But we're just going to dab the glue on with our dauber, and get into those intricate little places. Now I'm going to look and see how I want the sled on here. It's got to go right there. So that's about where my snowflake needs to go. Is right there. Okay. And then with that glue dabbed on there, it'll go down just like that. Then we can come back in with our, and I can stick these down here because I can suck them up with my little vacuum cleaner later. Now, I was supposed to get this done yesterday, and then today was going to be baking and Christmas cards. Well, my Christmas cards are going to have to probably go out this weekend because I have one more video I need to record today for my author channel, so that's not going to happen. So then I can just make sure I position this inside the card base, just like that. Okay, so then we have the sled. Now, in the stamp set, we have Let It Snow, and I thought this was perfect for this. But I also am going to shade this just a little bit so that it pops just like that. Real easy, so I'm not losing my dauber. And then this one's going to go here, but it needs a little bump here. So I'm going to take, I forgot there was that one in there that has issues. I'm going to take and put this under the snow end. I'm going to be careful that I don't get it out of the side. And then I'm going to take this one and put a dot of glue here. Just like that. So see, this takes up the space created by raising up the sled. And then we can put that one right there. Put that down. And then I have a snowflake. Also from the kit, and I'm going to glue it flat, and it's going to go right there, and then I have, or I did have, let me see if it's over here in the box, I had bling, that went with this. And I've still got all my card stuff over here to put together. But I thought I had bling, and I'm not seeing it. I moved it is what happened, was I moved it. So I don't have, but I will come back and I will put a little jewel. Actually, I have these. Let's put a little jewel right in the center. And to help it stick, I'm going to try and keep my head out of the way. I'm going to put a little dab of glue right there. And then I'm going to come back in with one of these. Stick it right in the center. Just like that. Well, it's supposed to be just like that. Let's try this. Let's try this. Stick this in up here. You see me trembling this morning. There we go. And then we can go right there. And it still won't turn loose my finger. There we go. And then we got a little bling in that snowflake. And that is one of 6 of this design that I will put together for our final cards this week for Christmas, or for the Christmas card series. Now, in 2026, I am determined to get back to my reindeer club, which means the 25th of every month we will be working on a project. And it may be as simple as a Christmas card, or I may have a Christmas card batch done up and I will show you what it is, and then we'll do something else for the video itself. So stay tuned, and we'll see you then. Now, this is my last video for 2025. I will see you back here January 6th, where we're going to be putting together a couple of winter cards for people who have birthdays in January. In the meantime, please remember to like, to share, subscribe, and I'll see you back here in 2026. Creative Christmas blessings.